Project Cars 2, Gran Turismo Sport, Forza Motorsport 7, they all have cars, they all have tracks. Yes, I'm stating the obvious, I know, as they are all racing titles and it's pretty difficult to make this genre of game without those elements. But news, flash, douche, bags, they all go about it in totally different ways. Welcome to another one of Bourne's Opinions, where I create a thought-provoking video which encourages you guys to talk, debate, argue and share your thoughts on the matter at hand. And friends, today is no different. So I was at home in my Batcave, looking like Bruce Wayne, brainstorming different ideas for future videos, and was really struggling until the number 700 hit me over the head in the form of a trailer for Forza Motorsport 7, with 700 being the confirmed number of cars available at launch. Now, it's not the biggest number ever, as previous Gran Turismo titles have exceeded 1,000 in-game cars, but in terms of a comparison relative to its rivals Project Cars 2 and Gran Turismo Sport, it's a gargantuan number. So that got me thinking, as a gamer, if I had the choice, what would I prefer? Option 1, a huge car list with a smaller amount of tracks compared to the others? Or option 2, maybe the complete opposite, much less cars wise and much more track wise? Or perhaps even option 3, a healthy balance of both? So I decided to go off in search of information covering GT Sport, Project Cars 2 and Forza Motorsport 7 car lists and track lists to have a look and see how they individually approach this and which of the three paths they went down, and surprisingly they all chose differing routes, or routes if you're American. I'm slowly but surely stepping my American pronunciations up. It doesn't matter, because what we're going to do now is take a look at each one, starting things off by looking at option 1, the case for car list over tracks with Forza Motorsport 7. So the game features more than 700 cars spreading across some of the world's most iconic brands, and featuring the 2018 911 GT2 RS. Forza Motorsport 7 plays host to the largest collection of Ferraris, Porsches and Lamborghinis of any driving game. A wide selection of cars from various eras, both old and new, as well as customization in the form of wide body kits and other aftermarket parts should leave fans of the game spoilt for choice. Master 30 racing environments with over 200 ribbons, Forza's largest track list ever. No two races are the same, as race conditions change every time you return to the track. Now, a big shout out and credit to NewGameNetwork.com, who say the Suzuka circuit was officially licensed and completely rebuilt with high-res assets designed to look great at native 4K and on the entire family of Xbox consoles. Not only is the track completely rebuilt and updated, Suzuka also features wet weather conditions for the first time in Forza history. Also returning is the fan requested Maple Valley, which, similar to Suzuka, has been revamped and includes a full range of weather conditions. Okay, so moving on to option 2, a shift towards being more track focused, Project Cars 2. With 180 cars carefully curated from the world's most elite brands in order to reflect the 9 disciplines of motorsport and 29 motorsport series in game, Project Cars 2 has you covered. No matter what gets your adrenaline racing, each car in game has been selected to represent a moment in time and era of racing, and the scene of motorsport captured in all its heroic beauty. Each car has been faithfully built to exacting standards, with architecture that has been approved by each and every automaker and handling that has been tested and approved by half a dozen real-world drivers. Project Cars 2 is the vivid expression of racing, and that authenticity begins with the very soul of motorsport, the cars. Looking at tracks, adding 20 fully scanned tracks to what is now the largest track roster on console. Project Cars 2 comes with 60 faithfully created venues from around the world, with over 130 individual layouts, providing you with a wide and electric variety of locations on which to race your 180 plus cars. The 60 tracks have been carefully chosen to reflect the 9 motorsport disciplines and 29 series that come with Project Cars 2. Whether it's running your classic Group C at period-specific Hockenheim, or one of the over a dozen modern GT3s at the Circuit de la Sarte, or gunning your GTO around the Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, perhaps even taking your IndyCar through Turn 1 at the Indianapolis Speedway, sliding your Honda Civic Coupe GRC Rallycross through the mud at Liddon Hill, or simply taking one of the world's holy trinity of hypercars to the scanned Nordschleife for a dawn run through the mist. Project Cars 2 has your passion covered, with 4 seasons of weather, day and night transitions, ice, snow, mist, wind, rain, and more affecting grip corner by corner on groundbreaking living tracks. These 60 tracks in Project Cars 2 express the authenticity and beauty of motorsport that is at the heart of the Project Cars franchise. And finally, option 3, near enough an equal emphasis on both cars and tracks. Say hello to GT Sport. From stock cars to race cars to concept cars, a total of over 150 cars have been recreated for the game, excluding the computer-aided design data used by automobile makers for their manufacturing. The 3D models created for the game are the highest quality, highest precision models in the world. From the curves of the body edges, spacing between body panels, to the headlights and turn signals, every detail of the car has been precisely recreated. In terms of tracks, from high-speed ovals to urban expressway, 17 locations are provided with 28 different layouts, from popular real-life race circuits, oval tracks, dirt tracks set in nature, and an urban expressway based on public roads. A large variety of tracks have been provided in the game. The true HDR workflow has enabled the recreation of light and colours that is true to nature, with the options to drive the tracks in a large variety of daylight and sky conditions. Okay, so that's a look at the 3 games and the 3 different options they've taken. Now, I want to make something abundantly and fundamentally clear here, because I've noticed there are a few people who will only take part of the video rather than understanding the full context of what's being said. So let's make this clear. Listen, talking to you, excuse me, this is not a comparison video between which game is better. We are not here to talk about how Project Cars 2 is more sim-like than Forza, or how Forza supports more wheels than Gran Turismo Sport, or how Gran Turismo Sport may have a better online facility than both. No, we're not doing any of that today. I brought this up because I feel it's very interesting how all 3 development teams, Turn 10, Slightly Mad and Polyphony, have gone about this in totally different ways, which to my knowledge not many people have actually picked up on. For what it's worth, I'm of the opinion that I have more of an emotional connection with cars than I do tracks. Before I had to stop driving for a while due to my eye condition, I owned an RX-8, so I love getting my hands on one in game. It's by no means the best car, but the fact that I own one makes me more intrigued to use it in game. The first Escort RS was the car my granddad used to own, and was the first car I sat behind the wheel of aged 4 with an afro. Obviously I didn't drive it, but I still remember when I was a young kid making noises and beeping the horn when we were parked up waiting for my nana to finish shopping. So when I see one in game, I immediately gravitate towards it. However, with that being said, when I do finally get my hands on a racing game, I end up spending tons of hours on the track and love learning them and finding out where the limits of grip is in order to shave tenths off my lap time. I especially love when a dramatic change of weather causes the track characteristics to change, causing you to second guess when you apply the brakes. I think for this reason I'm more inclined to sway towards option 2. I don't need a ridiculous amount of cars, but what I would like is a lot in the way of track variations, because I feel the same car will not perform the same way across all tracks. I know the RX-8 would do better on the Laguna Seca Mazda Raceway than it would at Silverstone, not because it's a Mazda car on a Mazda sponsored track, but more so due to the fact it's got good acceleration, a nimble front end, but not very high top end speed, which suits the slow hairpins and chicanes of that track rather than the fast sweeping corners at Silverstone, meaning I'd have to completely change my setup and tune, which in turn acts as an intriguing education process, which is what I like the most. So yeah, that's my option and my thoughts. So once again guys, that just about rounds things up for this episode. Let me know in the comments guys, what are your thoughts on this? What do you prefer? Are you someone that prefers having a whole load of cars with a small amount of tracks? Do you like a mix of both, an even balance, or do you prefer a massive focus on high track lists and an average in length car list? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments as normal. This is a good platform and an opportunity to have a good conversation about this. If it's your first time around here, I wish you a BOURNE welcome. Hitting the like button goes a long way to helping me understand if you like these discussion based videos. If you haven't done so already, check all the other ones that I've put out over the past couple of weeks or so. There's a lot to choose from, covering all the latest racing games that are coming out, both sim and arcade based. Now I've been scheduled for a lot of hours in my full-time job at work this week. There's going to be a lot of late finishes unfortunately, so there will be another video coming out this week, but I can't confirm as to which day that will be. Hit the subscribe button and turn your notification on so that you don't miss it. And as I mentioned in the last video, I will be uploading the next episode of the Need for Speed 2 playthrough as we get ready for Need for Speed Payback. Don't forget to check out the AutoBOURNE magazine if you're into car reviews. Details of that at the end of the video. And I'll see you when the next video comes out. Peace! Do you like car reviews? Do you check out power tests? Are you a fan of head-to-head showdowns? How about having them all tied together in one convenient place? Welcome to the AutoBOURNE magazine, your one-stop shop for all of the above, presented on a weekly basis with quality content, clean-cut commentary, and cars to suit everyone's pocket. What happened when the 370Z went up against the original 240? Was the American muscle car misunderstood by the British? Should you buy the brilliantly stupid John Cooper Works Mini? All questions and more will be answered as part of the AutoBOURNE magazine. Check it out now.